Thank you for watching Tech2's instructional video on the ESNA Tech version 7 UC Client Manager. This is video number 3. We've already installed the UC Client Manager and configured it. Now we're looking at the web client and some of the options that are available within the web client. We just talked about setting up your Find Me, Follow Me in the main settings, and now we're going to look at the general settings. In the general settings, you can play with a lot of the different options that you have for your particular mailbox. The first is your password. And this is the password that you will use to log into your mailbox here. You can go ahead and change it if you'd like to, and make sure to confirm it in the second place. Collaboration is not something that many of our companies are using at this time, but it is if you have an outside collaboration or meeting service, you can do some integration with them through here. So if that's something that you're interested in, just contact us for additional information. Synchronization options, the only time you'll need to worry about these is if you're using what's called full IMAP integration. What that does is it allows your mail server and your voicemail box to completely integrate, meaning if you check your message on your phone, it's going to mark that message as read in your email and vice versa. So if you get your message in your Outlook or whatever your mail client happens to be, and you have that so that it delivers to your smartphone and you check it out in the field wherever you happen to be, it will actually call back and tell your phone basically that that message is read now, please turn off the lamp. And if you are using that particular feature and you need to update your password for that, this is where you would come to do that. Your telephony options are where you're going to control some of the pop-ups that happen for call indication and that kind of thing. When a new call comes in for your extension, you'll get a little pop-up in your corner giving you some call controls. And here's where you decide how you want that pop-up to work. You can have no pop-up at all so that when your call rings, your computer does not respond. You can have this set to ask, in which case if somebody calls you and their caller ID is not familiar, it's not one of your contacts, it's going to ask that caller to enter their telephone number using their keypad before they'll allow that call to come through to you. The third one is a pop. It doesn't ask the caller anything, but it will take their caller ID information and pop it up in a little call control in the bottom corner of your screen and letting you know what the caller ID information is and allowing you to call, to answer, hang up, all sorts of little call controls. And the last is ask and pop. That would do a combination of the two. If the number was not recognized, it would ask them to enter it. If it is, it lets it go straight through, but in either case it pops up that information on your computer for you. Your personal operator, if somebody reaches your voicemail box and they dial 0, there's a system-wide operator that's defined. If you want somebody else to be your dial 0 option out of your mailbox, you can define them here. Now you can only pick someone from an internal extension. So when you choose whomever you want to be choose OK. And go ahead and close that. It'll go ahead and populate that field. If you have a long distance access code, you would go ahead and put that in here. Camp on, call screening, and call queuing. Camp on and call queuing only work if your extension gives a busy signal. In most cases in the business environment, we do not have busy signals. So the one that you would possibly be using is call screening. And call screening makes any caller that is calling in to your extension stop and give their name. And that way the call is then handed to you. The name of the person is spoken to you in their voice, and you decide if you want to take that call or not. You can also, from here, enable call forwarding. This kind of call forwarding is only going to be for calls that are made through the main greeting. You can again only choose somebody from inside the organization. You cannot forward your calls to an external telephone number from here. You would have to choose somebody internally, and that would enable the call forwarding to go to another extension at that time. The last option that you have here in your telephony options is what to do if you have CTI integration, and if you're using the ESNA Tech voicemail server. In most cases the CTI is enabled. when you set D&D on your phone, you can choose what that will do. D&D is Do Not Disturb. By default, Do Not Disturb sends all callers straight to your personal greeting. You can do that and change it, setting it to whenever I'm in Do Not Disturb, send me to my at a meeting location. My at a meeting location actually calls me at my cell phone. So Do Not Disturb, instead of sending people to my mailbox, all I do is push a key on my phone and it would go ahead and send callers directly to my cell phone. So that's what you would use here for your CTI options. Now, your message forwarding, this is not call forwarding. Message forwarding is what to do with voice messages that you receive in your inbox. What you can do is you can add a new forwarding address. Now from here, you can choose another extension or an email address. So if I wanted to put an email address in here, I can send a copy of my messages from this mailbox to somebody else's inbox. And the forward type with relay, it does not leave a copy in the originating mailbox. It relays it straight through. With a forwarding, it keeps the copy in your original mailbox and then forwards a copy to the other location also. In this case, what types of messages do you want to forward? Usually it's your voice messages, but if you're getting fax or email, you can also do those. Your voice format and fax format can be adjusted. Normally it's best to leave them at default unless you need to change them for a specific reason. This after how many hours and minutes, just leave that blank at 0. That means do so immediately. And you want a check mark to include the attachment. That will send an actual WAV file or an MP3 file of the voice directly to your specified destination. Okay, I'm just going to close those changes out. So that's your message forwarding. Now, playback and record we looked at briefly before. You can choose a couple of options in here. Your sort order is LIFO or FIFO. That means my last message in is going to be the first out, and this one means my first message in is going to be my first message out. So you can decide which order you want to hear messages that were left for you. You can also choose whether you want the voicemail server to say the envelope information. That's the caller ID and the time of the call. And you can choose the playback and recording devices. The rest of these options we are not going to go over at this time. You can feel free to look at those in more detail in the literature.